I was born without the cynicism thing. I don't know what would you call it, the gene, the cynicism gene. But you'd think that I'd be cynical enough to believe that the Democrats are doing what they're doing. I know I usually start my program each day with news about Tesla. Well, this is news about Tesla, sort of, because Elon Musk last night in Wisconsin gave a very long talk, which I recommend every single one of you watch, which broke news that absolutely nobody in the mainstream media, I'm not even talking mainstream media, nobody at all is covering. You see, well, let me just say it this way. And Autism Capital is the guy's handle on X, which I see him all the time. Usually has some pretty good stuff. And he says, uh, this is so shocking. It's just kind of unbelievable. Here's what he says. He says, Antonio Gracias talked about how the fraud in Social Security and voter fraud works. Takes him 12 minutes to talk about this. You can find it all over X. You can check it out, on YouTube. He says in 2021, 270,000 non-citizens got Social Security numbers. That might be a normal number. He doesn't say this, but that might be kind of a normal number for people that are here on green cards, on visas, et cetera, that are allowed to have Social Security numbers because they're working and we want to collect their Social Security. But in 2024, 2.1 million people got Social Security cards, non-citizens got Social Security numbers. He says they went in to find fraud and they found this by accident. This was not what they were looking for. They were looking for fraud in the Social Security system. And Garcia says, I'm not an immigrant, by the way. He says, I'm an immigrant, by the way. This is not political. He's not. His parents are immigrants. This is misquoted. His parents are immigrants. Two of his siblings are immigrants, but he was, I think, born in the United States. Maybe I have that backwards, but I don't think so. He says there's a lot of people in government that took huge risks to get us information and to show us what's going on. These are very good people. I have been from DC to the. I have gone. In other words, he's gone to DC. He's gone to the Social Security offices around the country, gone into the border to track this information down. Then Musk interrupts. He says people think that Biden was asleep at the switch. Well, whether Biden was or not, he says they were the Biden administration. They were not asleep at the switch. It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people and make it a deep blue one-party state from which there could be no escape. Gracias then goes on. He says human traffickers made 13 to 15 billion dollars off of this. Is a human tragedy. We created a system and created the incentive for people to come here and get taken advantage of by these traffickers. Musk says this is not made up by the right. This is absolutely true. The real reason for these attacks and the bringing of these cars is that we are going to turn off the payments to the illegals. I think this is the biggest voter fraud in the history of America by far. If the machine behind the Kamala puppet had won, they would have legalized all the illegals and there would be no swing state. So about two or three different subject matters here. Number one, the allowing of the illegals to come into the country, then the recognition that they could get showing them how they could get a Social Security card, even though they were here illegally. Then from there, it was to get benefits. They could get benefits because they could show their Social Security card to prove they deserve to get the benefits. And they were also given instructions on this by people that were trying to make all this happen. And then they could go, and some of them did get voter registered to vote and did vote. So they go on to say, so we now know that Elon was propelled. I'm sorry, this is me talking now. So those are the three pegs of the thing. Get them in the country, get them a Social Security card, the four pegs, get them benefits, and also get them registered to vote, and then have them vote. So when we take a look at Elon Musk in this situation, we know that he first was propelled to buy Twitter in order to save us with regard to having any kind of a place where we could go and where the conservative voice could be heard. Then we know he was propelled to help Trump win the presidency by what he saw as the very real threat of the massive deficit completely destroying our economy and maybe destroying the country, because you just can't continue to run those kind of deficits. People complain that there might be a chance that Social Security would be harmed by Elon Musk or by Trump. No, eventually the deficits. I mean, I tell my friends and neighbors when they say, "What young kids, we'll never get Social Security, it'll never," and I say that, if the country would have to be in real big trouble before the government would not pay Social Security. But the truth is, if the deficit was out of control for years and years and years, which there was no evidence there was anybody trying to make any effort to reduce it, and the interest rate grew and grew and grew. I mean, you could get into this horrible situation where, you could have a real serious problem. It may not be able to pay Social Security. So he's there to save Social Security. He then rounds up a few of his friends. Oh, I'm sorry. So he was propelled to help Trump win the presidency by this threat. And then once Trump is in office, they had agreed in advance, of course, to set up this 𝐑𝐻 group. And he rounds up a few of his friends. I guess there's over 100 of them now, friends and employees and associates and people that volunteered to come in and help, in order to correct the problem as the 𝐑𝐻 group. And then he's mercilessly criticized by the Democrats. And now they're even trying to destroy a green company, the company that's done the very most of any company or any organization, period. Nobody's come close to the amount of good that Tesla has done with regard to helping the environment. There's not a close second. There's nobody that's even in the ballpark. And now he's spending a few more millions of dollars to make sure that the Democrats don't use the Supreme Court of Wisconsin election tomorrow in order to gerrymander the state so that they pick up 2 seats in the House, which, if they pick up 2 seats in the House, that would be helpful for the Democrats to stop the 𝐑𝐻 Commission and to upset the effort to take away the vote from illegal aliens who shouldn't be voting. It is becoming more and more clear why Democrats are trying to destroy him and why I choose to support him with a tireless effort through this channel. And I know sometimes you sit there and you think, should I maybe send Randy a little bit of money through membership on YouTube, or maybe through joining the Patreon? I figured out I'm back down to $20 an hour doing this. Yeah, $20 an hour. So if you're thinking about that, that's a possibility, okay? But again, as I mentioned, this information, what I just explained to you, which should be the most dramatic news of the day, assuming that the receipts are verifiable, but the Democrats, if this was the opposite, if all of this was happening the opposite way, the press would have no trouble running this article with exactly what they have. They wouldn't need any more than this. They might get some commentary from the opposite side, but there's zero coverage. I mean, zero. I looked up on Google, Elon Musk illegal immigrants voting. Not a single, not in the news, not in the regular, nothing, zip zero. Well, the good news is for us as Tesla investors is that Wisconsin rally is going to be another amazing PR event that will get conservative voters into showrooms, because there was thousands and thousands of Wisconsinites out there at that program last night. These are people that may or may not have liked Musk in the past. They're going to like him after that night, and they're going to go out. And some of those very people that were in the room will go out and buy a Tesla, but also millions and millions and millions of people will see parts of or all of that talk last night and will be similarly encouraged. In addition to that, there will be people on the left or in the center who may not have liked Elon Musk or may think that he's doing horrible things in DC right now, who will watch it in order to hoot and to go, ha ha, that's wrong, and some of those people's minds will be changed, because it's a humanizing experience to watch Elon in these situations. He's so, he's an unusual character, but he's He's likable. He's a likable person. Herbert Ong says this morning. Elon Musk just confirmed. That was also part of the talk last night. Talk about a monumental talk. He confirmed once again that unsupervised FSD is on track to launch in Austin, Texas this June. And that's the way he said it. He said Tesla's unsupervised FSD is on track to launch in Austin, Texas this June. Now, as far as I'm concerned, at this point, all we know is that it'll be launched in the form of fleet cars that will have the unsupervised capability to be used as robotaxis and to start collecting fares from folks who are interested in taking a ride in a robotaxi. Herbert Ong says, unreal, but this is happening. So this is news from also from Herbert Ong. It's a Stifel, another one of the companies that follows Tesla and makes decisions on price targets and whatnot. They cut their Tesla price target, but they only cut it from 474 to 455, and they maintained a buy rating. So if they're right, Tesla will more than double between now and the end of the year. Well, that's not quite more than double, almost double between now and the end of the year. And of course, I think it'll do way more than that, as you know. The adjustment reflects a tempered expectation for the company's near-term vehicle deliveries, particularly concerning the new Model Y named Juniper and the impact of declining favorability among Democrats towards Tesla and its CEO, Elon Musk. Despite this reduced price target, Stifel's stance on Tesla remains positive, with expectations of continued share price volatility in the immediate future, which is what I'm saying as well. The firm's analysts underscore their confidence in Tesla's medium to long-term potential, which underpins their decision to reiterate the buy rating for the stock. Okay, this is Randy Kirk. Hit like, subscribe, notify, all that stuff. Later on today to be Larry Goldberg, as usual, probably around 4:30, somewhere around there, and then 7:45 will be Brian White. I already know what we're going to be talking about, and it's going to be very cool. The next 3 days will pretty obviously set us up for the rest of the year. I mean, it will set us up both from the standpoint of Tesla and from the standpoint of the overall economy, the stock market, everything. I mean, there's so much on the line right now. The VIX is at 24.5, which, kind of a risk-off situation. I mean, sorry, risk-on situation, or a calm market would be down around 12. This is a very risk-off at 24.5. So we'll have what's going to happen in the next couple of days. Well, we'll have the Wisconsin election tomorrow. That'll decide about those 2 House seats, although I guess, it's not going to happen overnight. And then the Tesla numbers will be out on Wednesday. The tariff decisions will be out on Wednesday. And we'll see whether that is going to calm markets or whether it will take us down another leg. In all of this morning, Tesla is so far outperforming over the last month because the entire market is down to the lows that they saw a few weeks ago. But Tesla has not gone that far. It is hanging out around 245. Is not gone down to the 222 where it was when the other indices were down at their lows. It's really, really hard right now for me to guess what will happen today, tomorrow, and then even Wednesday as this news all starts to become, we get the actual news as opposed to anticipating. Will the market crack through this 10%? The S&P is at 10%. In terms of a correction. I mean, the what do you call it? The NASDAQ is in a full-on bear, but it tends to be, I don't know if maybe it's not this morning. I didn't check whether it's down 20% from all-time highs or not, but it's near that. It might be 15% as opposed to the 10% for the S&P. But will it break below these numbers and go into really a full-on bear? That, I guess, will depend on whether the market is contemplating or thinking that all of this is going to cause a recession. So my gut says no. I believe we will sit at these levels until Wednesday. And then Wednesday could throw us over into a bear market. We don't know how bad these tariffs are going to be, but I don't think they're going to be the end of the world. I really don't. And then I think we'll stay in the current range. I think that once these tariffs are announced, It will be kind of a buy on the news situation, but it's not going to mean the market's going to go right back up to all-time highs. No, it's going to stay in this, up and down until May. That's been my theory all along. I continue to hold to that theory. Someone asked if the market is pricing in a recession. I said no. This is on X. I said no. I don't think we'll get 2 negative quarters, but we might, and maybe even probably we'll get 1. I think generally speaking, a correction in the stock market does not signal a recession, and you need a bear market for that. And whereas I think that markets are generally predicting what's going to happen 6 months out, there's been a lot of chaos caused by the president intentionally. This is how he works. This is how he worked the first time. It worked out just fine. But he's creating a lot of chaos right now. And so I don't think we're necessarily looking 6 months out as usual, because the market is kind of waiting to see what happens with the tariffs before they make the prediction. So we'll see again on Wednesday. It's 2 more days that we're going to be on pins and needles. I also don't think the recession would hit in September. I think if we have the recession, it'll be much sooner, and we'll be out of the recession. It will be on to the golden age because of the efforts of DOGE, the decision by the Congress to give us the tax cuts. Interest rates will be continuing to decline, and the benefits of all this will be hitting, as well as actual AI hitting and helping us with productivity numbers. So all that's going to happen by September. And yeah, I think we'll be on our way up into very good numbers by September. I think we will end the year S&P up over 15%, or probably around 15% up for the year. Be very hard to get over 20% a year. But if the productivity numbers were crazy, and if earnings are higher than expected in the third quarter, yeah, could happen. By the way, Trump is still sitting with a 50% approval rating this morning on Rasmussen, and right direction is still at 45%. So if you look past the stock market, if you look past the news that's going to happen over the next few days, the public, and if you even look past the analysis that's being done, the consumer confidence and the consumer sentiment indexes, if you look past both of those, and you look at what the public is saying in terms of consumer confidence, in terms of right track, wrong track, the public is saying we're on the right track for the first time in 50 years. And that might indicate that somehow the public is getting it, that we're going to finally give the people making less than $100,000 a year a raise. What are the numbers now? The numbers right now are Tesla down 6.29% at 246.98. So it's hanging in there. It's been up and down, up and down. But this is right in the teeth of where it's been all morning. The Dow is down 0.3. It's actually moving upward right now, kind of moving in an upward path. Nothing else is. The NASDAQ is down 2.14. It was down a lot more, but it's kind of in the middle of where it's been down this morning, like Tesla. The S&P is similarly, it's down 1.04%, and it also was down a lot more. It's now at 55.21. That would be very, very, 55.27 was the 10% level where it hit earlier. So it is, within, actually we're 55.21.96. So that would make us even closer to 55.27. All right. We've got Apple's actually up this morning, but the rest of the Magnificent, and when I say up, it's up 0.33%. The rest of the Magnificent Seven is down. Some of them down pretty big. Amazon's down 4%. NVIDIA down almost 5%. So this is not Elon Musk, and politics. It is the total market responding to the news that we're going to be going through these next 3 days. Cathie Woods are all down. CRISPR, for instance, I don't think they're very political. It's down 7.8. We've got Block down 4%. All right, so that's where we are with regard to the equities. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bonds. The good news is the bonds are sitting down 10 years down 4.4%, 4.4 basis points. It was down as much as 5 basis points, but we're at 42.11. So we've broken through the 4.25 level to 4.21. This is good, and we hope that it stays there and goes down further all the way into the threes. That's the next goal. That's the goal we're setting. 2 months is unchanged this morning, and the 2-year is also down 3.3 basis points. The oil patch. The oil patch is up 1.35. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on with oil. Oil is going to be volatile for a day or two because of all the stuff with regard to Venezuela and Iran and the Middle. I mean, every place in the world except for the United States, oil is under pressure. So it's not surprising that it's up this morning, 1.38 at $70.74. First time it's been significantly over 70 for a week or so. Brent is at 74.57. Natural gas up 2.48% this morning, back over $4 at $4 and almost 17 cents. We got gold soaring again this morning, up 30, all-time high, 31.45. Silver down a little bit, actually, at down 1% at $34.45. And copper down also 2.05% at just over $5. So that's quite a softening in copper. Yeah, so there's no consistency in terms of potential recession here. Copper being down, maybe. Silver being down, maybe. Gold being way up, maybe. But you've got the bonds still sitting at 4.21. You've got it's all over the place. Dollar is mixed this morning. Bitcoin up 770. That is a very big break from normal. Okay, that's a huge break from what's been going on. So the fact that Bitcoin is up this morning is also weird, taking into consideration everything else. Oh yeah, oil prices being up would also not be indicative of a recession. That's okay. So that's all we've got in terms of news this morning. So last night I did a thing on the 30 reasons why Tesla Robotaxi is going to be the breakaway winner, in the total winner, big time, winner take most situation. I'm saying 25% of worldwide ride hail will be Teslas. I give you 30 reasons for that. I think you'll like the show. I think you should go back and look at it. The card is right there. Later this morning, as I mentioned, Larry at 4 o'clock, 4:30, something like that. And then Brian White at 7:45, both. The Brian White show I know is going to be phenomenal because I know what we're going to talk about. It's going to be super interesting. And yeah, what else? I think that's everything. Support the show, Patreon, and now memberships. It has been great, as always, talking to you.